everyone, and welcome to another review from Colour with Claire. Today we're looking at the brand new colouring book from Ellie Marks. Now if you've heard her name before, it might be because I reviewed her first book, Flower Haiku, on my channel not too long ago, and I absolutely love this book. And it's just her style, Ellie's style in particular, it's very, very delicate. It's very charming, whimsical, the line work is just beautiful, and everything's just fantastic. I love Ellie's style. So as you can see just from this quick flick through, everything is centered around nature and botanics, insects, florals, things like that, and it all comes together really beautifully. For her second book, Ellie has focused more on portraiture. So in this book, you're going to be finding period costume, jewellery from those kind of eras, Victorian, Edwardian, and just beautiful portraits. So just to tell you a little bit about the book itself, it is 8.5 by 11 inches and it features 15 portraits to colour. It has a spiral binding, as you can see here on the left hand side, and it is one-sided, so you can use any kind of media on there without worry of bleed through. It's £110 cardstock, so very thick paper, and you know, it's ticking all the boxes for us colourists so far. So as we open up the book, you can see we've got the title page and a little bonnet for you to colour, which gives you a little bit of an insight into the kind of style that we're going to be seeing in the book. We've then got the book belongs to page, so you can put your name in there, you can put the date that you started the book if you're planning on, you know, finishing it all, and of course you've got a little something to colour as well. Now what I like about this book is that all of the images are bordered with this very fine line work that goes around the edge, so it's all contained and it just adds something to the piece. Now you can see that the portraits are all very close up. They're all like this really. Some of them are slightly smaller and you get more background, as you'll see, but mostly they're quite close up, zoomed in images and portraits. So it's going to be really beneficial for those of you who want to practice skin, for example, but just don't want to do it in too small of an area because you can't really layer up very well. You've not got enough room to get all the different tones and shades on there. So again, you know, it's just a fantastic book for practicing hair and skin, which a lot of the books I review are. I love portraits, I love colouring ladies, and yeah, so if you do want to practice, or if you've practiced already and your skill is up there and you want to now apply it to some beautiful illustrations, this is a great book for you. So I'll just flick through and you can see all of the different illustrations on offer. This one is stunning. It's got some roses, so everything kind of ties in with that botanical, nature-inspired style that we saw in Flower Haiku. And here we've got, which looks like a masquerade mask, and I believe peonies. I'm getting better with flowers, slightly. But yeah, again, you'll see costume and that kind of period type jewellery and things throughout the book. So this kind of reminds me of, is it the flapper style? I don't know, maybe it's just the hair that's reminding me of that, but yeah, it's kind of from that early 1900s, 1920s kind of period. That's what it's saying to me anyway. I could probably be wrong. You know me, I don't really I'm never any good at like judging, you know, where certain images come from, which time period, flowers, things like that. But here's the one that I've coloured, as you can see. It gave me a bit of a Little House on the Prairie vibe, this one. So I decided to search in Little House on the Prairie costume, and it came up with a really pale sort of lemon yellow and white costume. So that's what I went with. I used Prismacolors on the majority of the piece. For the hills in the background, I used some Holbein because I wanted to try and get some different green tones on there than I had in the Prismacolors, just to differentiate it a little bit. And I used Neocolor crayons, Neocolor 2s on the sky. So I've tried my best with the clouds. I'm not proficient really at skies and things like that. I do try, and as you can see, I've come out of the edges here, and I was actually going to put some black around there, but anyway, yeah, so I'm not great with Neocolors for skies yet, and clouds particularly, but I just find that if you add in some particularly bright white highlights here and there on a cloud, and then some purples and a little bit of yellow, it seems to give it slight dimension, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing this one. And as you can see, the Neo colours have slightly come through on the back there, but I did use a lot of water. And you know me, I forgot to put the paper underneath. So really, this could have been ruined, but it wasn't because of the thickness of the paper. So there you go. This one, as you can see, we've got a horse on here. This one scares me a little bit, I will admit, because animals and fur and hair and just animals in general and colouring them is quite difficult for me. But I think it would be a beautiful piece when it's done. I really love the composition of the horse's head being in the foreground, but also lining up with the lady's eyes as well. We've got the cameo brooch and the leather gloves. So yeah, it's all very period typical. So this one is obviously set in France. We've got the Eiffel Tower in the background, and we have this Parisian beauty in the foreground drinking her coffee. So when I'm looking through colouring books of people, I'm always looking for really interesting and unique features of that person, because a lot of times when you're looking at colouring books of girls, they've all got beautiful flowing locks and, you know, this really unrealistic hair. And I mean, I'm not saying that this hairstyle is something realistic that you would do every single day, but it's really nice to see unusual hairstyles and hair lengths as well. Because colouring books, they generally try and make all the girls look, you know, like mermaids or something, which isn't, you know, it's not realistic. This one I really like. It seems like she's got a headscarf on here and her hair's kind of scraped back. It's almost as if she was maybe doing some cleaning or something this morning, or some gardening. Yeah, so again, it's just that unique sort of touch. I'm not going to say what I think this bird is because I'll get it wrong. I think it's a cockatoo. Maybe, and it looks like we have some sakura or cherry blossom coming across the bottom here as well. So quite a big blank area in the background there for you to put in your own backdrop, whether that just be one gradient or you want to paint in some details if you're feeling confident. It's up to you. So here I'm thinking this could be Venice because we've got the canals through the streets here. I can just about see a gondola in the background, and again it's another masquerade mask image. Really like the butterfly on this necklace here. It's very big and bold, a real feature piece of jewellery. So this one's more of a wintry scene. As you can see in the background, it looks as though we have some snowy hills and snow-capped trees and then some winter berries behind her. But I really do love the costume, the mittens, all of the fur. Yeah, just lovely. So this looks to be a bridal style illustration. It seems as though we've got a kind of see-through, maybe tulle veil here. And again, just beautiful hairstyles. I mean, whoever could create this kind of pincushion look with the hair, just beautiful. But I really love the traditional look of this dress as well. There aren't any low-cut tops or, you know, boob tube type dresses and things like that. This one comes all the way up to the neck, but it looks as though it would be some sort of mesh or lace or something. And I just think it would look absolutely gorgeous. I think I'm going to have to try and work out how to colour see-through or semi-opaque fabrics and then show you guys, but just give me a bit of time. This would be a great illustration to try it on though, so I'll give it a go and I'll get back to you if I'm successful. So this one is really fun. As you can see, it's a little girl and her dolly, and they look really reminiscent of one another. So it's almost like she's either fashioning her doll in her own image or she's taking style advice from her doll, because they do look really similar. I can't really pinpoint this one in terms of era, but as you can see from the costume, the clothing, I think they're pajamas. It does look, you know, it's not 20th century, 21st century. What century are we in? Yeah, it's not modern. It's not modern is what I should have said. So yeah, maybe you can fill me in on that. But anyway, this is another beautiful illustration. I love how these flowers and vines are hanging down from the tree branch and almost kind of reflecting that her arm is hanging down from the balcony. It's that kind of synchronicity between the subject and the background and all of the elements within it. I really like that. The next one, she looks, I would say that this lady is from maybe Spain or somewhere like that. I don't know, maybe it's the coins and the medallions on this jewellery, or just, I don't know, I'm just getting the feeling of a Spanish vibe here. And I really love the parasol as well. Gorgeous detailing on there. So here we have what looks to be a princess or a queen. She is wearing a crown, and it looks as though she is either looking through her book of flowers to identify this lovely bloom in front of her, or maybe she's come outside to write in her journal or do a little bit of sketching. But yeah, it gives me a very springtime vibe, this one, for some reason. And here's the bonnet from the front that we had in the little thumbnail at the start of the book. So that's a really nice one for you to colour, just to have it larger to get more detail of blending on there and things like that. And then we have 2 pages to test out your colours. So if you're using markers and things like that and you don't know how this paper is going to stand up to that kind of media, you have the exact same paper in the back and lots of space to test. So that is the end of the book. Now then, where can you get it from? So Ellie Marks has her own Etsy store, which I think I mentioned I'll be leaving the link for in the description below, and that's where you can get this book. Currently it's around about £16, $20. I don't really like to do prices nowadays because it always changes, goes up, goes down, fluctuates, and these videos are going to be on YouTube for the foreseeable future, so it might be slightly different by the time you're watching this, but that's as of now, 2020. And I think that's all I can tell you about the book, other than absolutely love it. I don't think it's topped my love for flower haiku, because I just really, really love the nature elements of this, but it's in exactly the same style. The illustrations are just as quaint, just as beautiful, and they go really well together, as you can see. So I'm just really, really excited as to what Ellie's going to bring out next. I'm pretty sure I saw a little preview of a page that she's working on for another book already. So again, really, really exciting, and I hope you've enjoyed looking at this review. If you have, please give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought, and I will see you very soon on Colour with Claire.